Hi class, I hope you're having a great day today and I'm excited to teach you about our tens and ones some more. So the first thing we're going to do is read over our I can statement again. What are we learning this week? I can know how many tens and ones there are in a two-digit number. Awesome, so this is what we're going to learn how to do, but the very first thing we're going to start off with is do a number talk. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to look at this card and I'd like you to think of as many ways to count these dots as you can. So remember, when you think of one way, you're going to put your thumb at your chest. When you think of two ways, you're going to add a finger. 3 ways, and so on. So go ahead and think as many strategies as you can. All right, boys and girls, if you need some extra time, feel free to pause the video. I'm going to first ask you, how many dots did you count? That's right, I counted 7 too. Very good job. Now, my very first strategy that I thought of, a way to count these dots, is I thought to count by twos, 2, 4, 6, and one more. So I know 2, 4, 6, and one more is 7. So I'm going to write count by twos, and then I'll write 2, 4, 6, and then plus 1 equals 7. All right, another strategy I thought to count these dots is I just count them one by one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can count them one by one. And then I thought of another strategy. I play a lot of board games often, and I know that when I see this right here on a dice or a die, I notice that this is 6. This is always 6 when I have 2 rows of 3. That's 6. So I know that this means 6 when I have 2 rows of 3. So I know from a dice, I'll write dice 6 plus 1 is 7. So 6 plus 1 is 7. So I'm going to write dice. No. Whoops. Mrs. E makes mistakes too. K-N-O-W. No. 6 plus 1 equals 7. Now, boys and girls, I'm going to ask you, which strategy do you think is the quickest or most efficient way to solve this problem or to count these dots? I agree. I think that number 3 might be the quickest way to count these dots. Or number 1, you could definitely count quickly if you count by 2. So this is just an example of how mathematicians can use many different strategies to solve a math problem. All right, let's move on to our lesson today. So remember, I'm going to remind you one more time, we met some friends recently. We met Mr. Adrian. He is a 1. When you see one of these little squares, that means 1. We also met Mr. Flynn, and he shows 10. He is a group of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we know that. So remember, we're going to answer these questions again. Who is this? This is Adrian. He is the 1. That means 1. And who is this? This is Flynn. He is a 10. When I see this, I know it means 10. And how many do they both represent or mean? This one is 1, Adrian is 1, and Flynn is 10. So this is a 1 block and this is a 10 block. I'm going to do another review with you. Remember, what is this? You know this from kindergarten. I'm just going to quickly review this. That's right, that's a 10 frame. And when I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, when I have this all filled in, how many dots are there inside that 10 frame? That's right, there are 10. So I know this is one group of 10. Now, watch this, boys and girls. I know you remember this from yesterday. This is a 10 frame, turn sideways. If I stack it on top of itself, it is the same thing as Mr. Flynn. It is a tens block. So this means that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks. So that represents 10. We're going to remember that so we can better understand our tens blocks. So now I'm first going to show you how to do this. Then you are going to do this with me in your notebook. So the very first thing, if you would like to, you can pull out your blocks with me to show each of these numbers. But on your assignment, on today's assignment on Seesaw, you're going to be getting one of these three things. You'll either get your blocks, your tens and ones, or your numbers. So I'm going to show you how to do it if you just have one thing and the rest are missing. So say I have 73. If I have 73, let's first draw that with our tens blocks. So I know that my first digit represents how many tens I have. So I'm going to draw 7 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And my ones blocks, how many do I need to do? It's my second digit. That's right. 1, 2, 3. So now I can go back right here and remember we count how many tens blocks there are to show us how many tens there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 tens and 1, 2, 3 ones. That's right. So 73. Now that one is complete. We just figured out from the number what our tens blocks, our base 10 blocks would look like, how many tens there are in that number, and how many ones there are in that number. So let's try it if we had the middle portion filled out. Say I had 88. What if I had 88? Let's go ahead and start by drawing these blocks. So I'm going to draw my tens blocks first. I have 8 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And how many ones do I have, boys and girls? That's right, I have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 ones. Now, boys and girls, what does that mean my two-digit number is? What's my number? That's right, it is 88. Now, boys and girls, I want you to go ahead and pull out that notebook of yours and a pencil to do it with me. Also, pull out your toolkit so you have your tens blocks and your ones, okay? All right, once you're ready, join me. So I already have some things filled out. I have my how many tens and ones there are for this one and my number. We're just going to start with this one. So go ahead and draw this big box and divide it into 3 sections. You can write tens and ones in the middle section. Okay, boys and girls? So now I see that I have 3 tens and 3 ones. So I want you to draw first, then pull it out of your math toolkit. So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3 tens and 1, 2, 3 ones. All right, so I have my tens blocks now. Then go ahead and pull out of your math toolkit 3 tens and 3 ones to show this number. You can pause that to do that. Now, boys and girls, I am going to write my number. So I write my tens first and then my ones. Sometimes my tens and ones match, just like this number, 33. Very good. Once you're finished with this, let's move on to this. Remember, draw a big box, divide it into 3 sections. You can draw a line right here and a line right here, and you can write tens and ones right here and make a line down the middle. So I gave us our number. Let's go ahead and start by drawing our tens and ones blocks. I'd like you to do this with me in your notebook. Remember, our first digit shows us how many tens there are. So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4 tens. And our second digit, what does that show us? That's right, how many ones there are. So I'm going to draw 2 ones. Now I can go right here and answer these 2, or fill in these 2 blocks. I have how many tens we have. So we're going to count our tens blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tens. And how many ones or Adrians do we have? That's right, we have 2. And now we are finished. So I'd like you to make sure you have these 2 boxes written in your notebook. All right, this is our last thing we're going to do in our notebook today. The first thing I want you to do is write number 1, 42, this 2-digit number. Number 2, 6, that's just a 1-digit number. And number 3, 80. Very good. Now, I want you to grab a red and a green crayon, if you have them, or a red and a green marker, or a red and a green colored pencil. We're going to underline our 10s in red and our 1s in green. So let's start with number 1. If you need to pause the video, go ahead and pause the video to get your supplies. What one is my 10 spot? That's right, I'm going to underline my 4 in red because that's my 10 spot. Now, what is my 1s? That's right, 2. So I'm going to underline my 2 in green because that shows me how many 1s there are. Now 6, that's a tricky one. There's only one digit. Remember what I told you last time? That when we have one digit, it only is the 1s because we don't have a number in front of it. There's only 6. If I had 6 of something, it'd only be 6 1s. So I'm going to underline that in green. Please do the same. Now, I'd like you to do it for number 3. I'd like you to underline your 10s in red and your 1s in green. All right, let's check that. We have 8 10s. Did you underline that 8 in red? Good job. And we have 0 1s. Did you underline your 0 in green? That's right. Very good job, boys and girls. Now let's move on to 4, 5, and 6. I want you to write this in your notebook. Number 4, write the number 24 next to it. Number 5, write the number 63 next to it. And number 6, write the number 99 next to it. Very good. Now, I want you to pull out your red and your green crayons or markers or colored pencils again, and you're going to underline the number that shows us how many 10s there are, the 10s place, in red. And then underline the number that shows how many 1s there are in green. That's right. So 2 tells us how many 10s there are, and 4 tells us how many 1s there are. That is 24. What about 63? Go ahead and do that on your own. Underline the 10s in red and the 1s in green. That's right, 6. There are 6 10s in this number, and there are 3 1s. There are 3 1s in this number. Now 99, I'd like you to underline the 10s in red and the 1s in green. That's right, there are 9 10s in this number. There are also 9 1s. Remember, sometimes our 10s and 1s numbers match if we have a number that has the same number of 10s and 1s. Very good. I'm going to show you how to do your seesaw activity. Remember, when you see a Loom video right here, you can click on this, and it will take you to some very detailed instructions on how to complete this activity. So it will show you exactly what to do. And you can click play on this video, and it can show you how to do the activity. Hi, boys and girls. So I'm going to show you how to do this activity. So if you need extra help on completing this activity, you may click on that. And it is a video of me. Awesome. Okay, so they did an example problem right here, and I'll just do one with you. If you need to watch that Loom video, you can absolutely do that, okay? So you can go right here, and you can see that they have every single box filled in. They have their base 10 blocks, they have their 10s and 1s, and they also have the number, all right? So we're gonna do that right here. We are given our 10s and our 1s. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna click on our hand tool, our move tool, and we are gonna drag how many 10s it tells us. So it tells us we need 3 10s. So 1, 2, 3. Very good. Now we need to drag 7 1s. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 1s. Now, I have my base 10 blocks done. I have my 10s and 1s. The last thing I need to do is write my number. I can either use my drawing tool or my text tool, and I can write 37. I'm going to write this neatly so my teacher can see it. Then when I'm finished, I can click my check to turn it in. All right, boys and girls, thanks for doing our math lesson today. I know you're going to do some great work on Seesaw, so keep up the fantastic work. All right, bye, boys and girls.